Okay.
When they were talking about the Western Rail Line and others, we learned that the companies would take the soil and everything and go take it out to process to extract the ore. I said, what is this? If at the end of the day, I come to tell you that the whole shipload of sand has nothing in it. So we sit down and identify 1, 2, 3 that as of this, we are processing them. This is what we want to do.
Okay.
And then our pettiness should stop. When one leader says that Ghana beyond aid, a very important philosophy.
Yeah.
So why don't we all sit down and what do you mean by Ghana beyond aid? What are the merits and demerits? Now we all, as soldiers, march towards that.
Yes.
We're going to IMF. What for? IMF is an association of independent nations, of which Ghana is a member. And that association is more or less, we can, in a very literal way, equate it with the welfare societies that we have in our companies and whatever.
Oh, okay.
And when you need help, you come and we look at your situation. We sit down and castigate. The next time we are going there and we go with the flexibility of language is such that we can just blow that into people's eyes with language. So we need to do that. There are some sectors of the economy that we need to establish, revamp, and whatever.
Okay.
And these call for huge investment. Yes, people are talking about some Ghanaians having money if they can put together and set it up. When they start, their old foes, older foes, parents will ask, have you forgotten about Siam? Have you forgotten about this and that? And if you still want to go on, they'll tell you that if you do that when I die, don't come to my funeral. And that's the seal. We need to, there should be, we've not had a proper and sincere apology as a nation to the people whose properties were taken. To the people, especially women, who came naked. Some of them have joined the parties to recoup what they lost.
Wow.
But within them, that bitterness is there.
It's still there.
So for us to tap into the resources of Ghanaians, there should be a serious apology. There are descendants of that chaos still in public spaces. Together they should come and sit down and render a sincere apology to the nation.
Okay.
And then you go to those who have the money. I'm very sure they will contribute.
Sure.
If not, yes, the path is there. We have contributors to the island.
Yes.
We pay our dues, we pay subscription and whatever. So we go there. During the time of the IMF, talk about IMF, Germany was there, South Africa, and other countries. If Germany is going to IMF, what prevents Ghana from going? But the way we handle the fund, so we stop all this. And then the idea of projecting wealth, people count, put on display the number of cars they have. There's nothing wrong with having cars and whatever. But the way it's projected entitles people who don't have it to cut corners, to go to Sakawa and others.
Yes.
So if the youth are going into Sakawa, who is going to work? Who is going to set up whatever we need?
Exactly.
So all these things needs to be addressed.
Okay.
And then our trust in God should be very sincere.
Okay.
And that also calls for a revolution within the clergy. And now I hear some people calling themselves apostolic fathers and fine. No problem. But it should be sincere. You don't set up a church and go and buy a state property which could have been used to provide job for your members.
Wow.
And after buying that property, you have not converted it into an income generating machinery for the unemployed in your church to benefit.
Wow.
We need to do a serious re-examination of all this.
Okay.
Without God, we are nobody.
Without God, we are
But
nobody.
we can't. Our trust and reliance on God will depend on the type of religious leaders we have. To date, I don't think, I doubt, God forgive me, I doubt if He speaks to most of those who claim they are agents of God. I don't think.
Wow. Oh, thank you very much, sir, with that. Sir, last clarification before we leave you this morning. We know you've actually sacrificed most of your time for us, which we are very much grateful and humbled for you to that this morning. You mentioned the sanitization of our political scene in terms of the insults and all that. So would you say that this has been championed, or it has a basic influence from we being democratic? The idea of democracy, the free speech, the right to do this and do that. Do you think some of these things stems from that?
I would say it's an abuse of it.
Okay.
If you go to the Bono area, they have a festival called a pop festival.
Okay.
And the lineup of activities include a day when the ordinary people have the right to attack their leaders with their shortcomings.
They attack them.
So that, I mean, verbally.
Yes.
Okay.
So it is a period where societal norms and others are relaxed as a means for the leadership to know what is on the chest of their subjects. So we have it's part of our culture.
Okay.
But how this is done, there are some people who dare not go into politics because of the names, the catcalls, and outright insults heaped on them. And most often the insults are not just to that person, but to the whole larger family and the community. Look at what we call the action mafia.
Yeah.
We know it.
Yes, please.
If Wasafo Mafo is not doing his work well, he's doing something perceived to be corruption or whatever, you take Wasafo Mafo on. But you don't extend that insult to the whole group of action people, millions of people in this country.
Yeah.
And then they will also react. And it is also one other thing that we need to have is proper political education. Some people up to parliament don't qualify to be there.
Okay.
Because they are not courteous. They are not people who have been tested, people who have experienced life, and therefore respect achievers.
Okay.
So we need to do others.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, sir. Please, your last words before.
Okay, my last word is I will keep in one important phrase in our national anthem. God bless our homeland Ghana. We should continue asking for God's blessing to guide us in everything we do. Our temperament and everything, God should guide us, bless us, and control our lives.
Amen.
There's a good future for Ghana, and it's only God who can take us there.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for making time with us this morning. We are very much grateful and enjoy a happy independence.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So that was Professor Ayesu on the phones to speak to us and educate us on most of the issues that we've all been anticipating to learn about. On our screens right now, you can see the live coverage of the Independence celebration at the Jubilee House. We can see the parade and various institutions, state institutions in their uniforms, there to partake in the ceremonial anniversary of Ghana's independence, 68th independence.
Yeah.
Finally, the day has come.
The day has come.
Their day.
Petty Officer Class 2, Owusu Sir Patrick. The Air Force color is carried by Flying Officer Mark Kwesi Boache, and the escorts are Warrant Officer Class 2, Aku Michael, and Flight Sergeant Eiple Desmond. Distinguished guests, our two smartly dressed car orderlies are personnel from the Ghana Military Police. The car orderlies for this year's anniversary parade are Lance Corporal Yebua Rebecca and Lance Corporal Ajopo Esther. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the President will be escorted by the Police Mounted Squadron. The Police Mounted Squadron was formed in 1940 with 7 horses. They are commanded by Assistant Superintendent of Police, Mary Agamba. The core mandate of the unit was to provide ceremonial escorts for the governor. The horses are also used for patrol duties. Some of the names of the horses on parade this morning are Peace and Love, Sunshine, Lionheart, Mighty Ocean, Step by Step, and last but not the least, Go Ahead. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, while we await the arrival of the President, the band will give us some tunes. Thank you. much. Band. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, arriving on the square now is the President of the Republic of Ghana and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and his spouse, Her Excellency Mrs. Lodina Mahama. I wish to respectfully request that we all rise as the President proceeds to the saluting days. The President is being escorted by the police mounted squadron. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the President is being escorted by the police mounted squadron. The police mounted squadron was formed in 1940 with 7 horses. As the President proceeds to the saluting days, we remain standing for the national salute. This will be followed by the national pledge.
National salute. Resign. Arms. The national pledge. I
promise on my honor to be faithful and loyal to Ghana, my motherland. Pledge myself to the service of Ghana. Hold in high esteem our heritage won for us through the blood and toil of our fathers, and I pledge myself in all things to uphold and defend the good name of Ghana. So help me, God.
Hey! Done! Ice!
Please be seated. Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, we shall now commence today's program with opening prayers. We shall have the traditional Muslim and Christian prayers. It's now time for the traditional prayers. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we shall now have the Muslim prayers by Lieutenant Colonel Najmuddin Mohammed, the Chief Imam of the Ghana Armed Forces. This will be followed by the Christian prayers, and that will be done by Brigadier General Benjamin Kumi Wood, Director General Religious Affairs of the Ghana Armed Forces.
We pray in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Almighty Allah, we thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for how far you've brought us as a nation, Ghana. And on this occasion of our 68th Independence Anniversary celebration, we pray that you grace this occasion with your blessings and make it a success. Almighty Allah, we pray that you bless this nation, grant us peace, and grant us prosperity. Bless our leadership, starting from the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the Vice President, Excellency Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ajiman, the executives, the legislature, the judiciary, the Ghana Armed Forces and sister security agencies, as well as all the institutions of our dear nation. Almighty Allah, bless them, grant them guidance, wisdom, and protection, and help them steer the affairs of this nation to success and to your glory. Almighty Allah, as we strive,
we are back on the lines, and we will be
to reflect, review, and
Mr. Osei Poku, who is a lecturer at Kesbin University. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Please, how are you doing?
By God's grace, I'm fine.
Yes, sir. It's the 68th birthday of our motherland, Ghana. How has it been for you so far as a Ghanaian?
All right, let me take this opportunity to thank you and your listeners.
Yes, sir.
I think it's a mixed feeling. And I will say that I've liked in our country. Then I can say so far so good.
Okay.
But on the other side of the coin, I believe that we could have done better than what we are experiencing now as a nation or as a country at the age of 68 years.
No, okay. So 68 years. Has it been more of
الذين
a
أنعمت
progress to you,
عليهم غير المغضوب
or some regress you see?
I would say that so far we've achieved about 30% progress, 70% regression.
Wow.
Because of how our political terrain is. I believe that politically we are independent.
Okay.
But the other spheres of our democracy and development, I would say that we are rather retrogressing.
What do you think might be the influence behind this huge factor of retrogression we are experiencing as a country?
I think the main factor could be leadership issues or leadership crisis, because fortunately for us, God has been so kind to Ghana in terms of natural resources, in terms of human resources. And you might have all these resources, but it takes a leader to maximize or optimize these resources for the betterment of the ordinary Ghanaian.
Okay.
And from the one we had the independence in 1957, it seems we are not so fortunate when it comes to our leaders. And that has made us more or less not having a positive direction in terms of managing our economy and our country.
Okay.
Okay. So, in your own perspectives here, which area would you say that Ghana has progressed in, and which area would you say that we've also regressed in?
We are progressing in terms of having peace.
Okay.
As a nation, because without peace, the survival of our people will be very challenging and difficult. So in terms of building a peaceful nation, that one, we are progressing.
Okay.
But my problem is human development. You know, now it's not about GDP, it's about human development index.
Okay.
And if you look at how we are developing our youth, in particular in terms of engaging them with employment opportunities, in terms of skills development, it seems we are lagging behind. So basically, in terms of peace, in terms of democracy, freedom of speech and others, is positive. But the developmental part of it and our fight against corruption and peripheral interests is now a major challenge as a nation. Yeah.
What do you think should be done in respect to these subjects that you think are in retrogression state of the country?
Yeah, you know, in my earlier submission, I said that God has been so kind to us.
Yes.
In terms of natural resources and others.
Yes.
So now the problem with the human beings, we need to have attitudinal change. You know, if we continue to maintain the status quo in terms of our way of thinking, that will be a problem. So the first point that we need to tackle is attitude on the part of the people, on the part of our leaders.
Okay.
Because it seems, as it stands now, everybody is pursuing his or her own parochial interest. Personal interest. Are you getting it?
Yes.
So unless we have that kind of patriotism that Kwame Nkrumah and co used to have, we will still retrogress. So the first point of correction is attitude, change of our attitude, the way we do our things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. As you mentioned, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, who was our first president, in relation to we as a country, 68 years after independence, successive governments, how has each government or president's contribution been to the country in your own observation?
All right, I think we had the breakdown as a result of the coup d'etat.
Okay.
When we, or some people with their selfish interests, overthrew the Nkrumah's government, that's where our woes started. And because with Nkrumah, though, you know, he used to be a human being, and as usual, he might have had his own issues or shortfalls. But I think he was putting Ghana on the right path, and for that matter, Africa on the right path, based on what he learned and heard about him. But along the line, you know, loving you, grateful to our past presidents. But those who were involved in the coup d'etat, to me, have really done us more harm than good. And coming from that point, we just started our democracy with Rawlings. To me, the former President Jerry John Rawlings did well by making sure we are on the right path in terms of democracy. And before you can build a motorable road, there should be rough patches here and there. So for Rawlings, I think we can't fault him too much because at that time there were a lot of skirmishes or challenges in terms of managing the economy and others, and people were just looting the country as we are experiencing today. So Rawlings did his best by making sure we get on track. And I can say that we should give him the credit for our fourth republic. Then after Rawlings, President Kufuor, the former president, also came in with his social interventions, which really helped somehow. But after Kufuor, it seems things are not getting better. And the corruption cases keep on soaring. So if we are talking about individual leaders, to me, some of them did well, others are not doing what you're expecting them to do. And you know, it's not only about the president, it's about the ministerial leaders and others. And what I've realized is, or observed, is that people come in with their own parochial.
Do you think that under the Fourth Republic, the democratic leadership with successive governments, have we aligned ourselves back to the ideas of Dr. Nkrumah? As you said, he was channeling us on the right path. Do you think that after democracy or some sanity was restored in governance of the country, we've realigned ourselves, or we are just...
No, I don't think we've been able to. With a few cases, I don't think we've been able to realign with the vision of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, who helped us to get this independence we are talking about. Because and otherwise, you would have developed, you know, more than what you're experiencing or seeing today. Because if you look at Nkrumah's era, it seems almost all the factories that we can be proud of as Ghanaians or were built by almost all the schools, the universities, the big ones in Ghana, the known universities and special institutions, secondary schools in Ghana, factories, even the road. Even talk of electricity. So I always say that if Kwame Nkrumah would not have been our leader, then Ghana would not have electricity. Okay, so what has been added? All that you can see now is destruction of these things. Because you no more see those factories we could have boasted of. Are you getting that?
Yes, sir.
So it seems our leaders after Nkrumah have not been so fair to Ghanaians, because we are talking about unemployment, economic issues and everything. We keep on saying the same thing after every election. We keep on shifting blames after every election. So we elect our leaders to solve problems, to move Ghana forward. But every time we are done with elections, the next thing you hear is that the previous government didn't leave anything in our coffers. This and that, all we hear is negative things or reports. So what are we doing as a nation, as political parties between MDP and NDC? That's why I'm saying that without Nkrumah, Ghana wouldn't have been in existence, because what we are seeing today is all about blame game, all about the same challenges reoccurring.
Okay. So say before we leave you, because we know that the president might take his stand and give some speeches very soon, which everyone will be willing to listen to. So we will make it short for you, so we don't take much of your time. But before we leave you, what do you think is the way forward for us as a country?
The way forward is to redefine. Personally, I'm not interested in the race setting. It's about upgrading our current situation. If you reset, it means that it's a defeatism approach. Because you are part of those who did what you think needs to be reset. So the word reset to me is a defeatism approach, especially on the part of the government.
Okay.
Because if you reset, then if you are to calculate, NDC has spent more years in power than even any other government in Ghana.
Yes.
So does it mean you are respecting what you did as a political party or as a government previously? That means you are not being fair to the country. That means whatever you did in the previous years were wrong.
Yes.
I hope you are getting that.
Yes, please.
So it should rather be upgrade of what has happened before.
Okay.
So for me, the first thing that we need to do as a country is change of our attitudes towards everything, towards time management, towards patriotism, towards nationalism, everything that we think can make us move. It's not like we don't know what is going on, but we are trying to pretend like ostriches. Okay, so unless we have a rethinking, that kind of psychological, mental, everything about Ghana, so that we can move. And leadership by example.
Yes.
If you are complaining that you want to cut down costs in terms of expenditure, and now we are hearing we just procured furniture at the cost of $11 million.
Yes.
For one particular institution, Bank of Ghana. If it's true, that means you are not ready to move as a nation. We can have our Independence Day at Flagstaff House. So I was telling somebody this morning that on radio that you can have your funeral on the compound house.
Yes.
Other family can have theirs on a public park. But the cost involved, the one in the compound house will be higher than
the public park.
The public park. Are you getting that?
Yes.
Depending on how you manage it.
Yeah.
So it seems we are robbing Peter to pay Paul as a country. Because the same person who was in court for alleged malfeasances is the same person who is telling us today that within a month or 2 weeks or so, he has spent $11 million. This is an allegation, but if it's true, then we are not being fair to assess, please.
Sure. Okay. Sure. Wow.
So with our way forward, what do you think we should prioritize right now as a country?
That's what I've already said. We need to forget about everything, and especially the young ones, the youth. We need to conscientize them. In Kuma used to have what's called I've forgotten that. There was this cadet for young ones.
Yeah.
Okay. We need to instill that kind of discipline in our young ones. Now the problem is, even if you go to secondary schools, the discipline is very, very bad.
Yeah.
And they are the same people who will become our leaders in future. Now we are talking. You are having problem with drug abuse, indiscipline in our secondary schools, and the same people within the next 10 years. When Ghana will be 78 or 88 or whatever, will be the same people who come and lead us. So it should start from the grassroots, from the young ones. At least for the older ones, we know that they've done their part or they are about to leave the team. So we need to change the basis, the young ones, and rebuild the Ghana from that angle. Otherwise, if we keep on doing what we're doing now, then the future is not the best. So it's my concern is attitudinal change. Attitudinal change, and then we should also avoid over dependence on foreign aid.
Sure.
In God's wisdom, we have land, not just land, fertile land. How are you maximizing these resources in terms of agriculture, in terms of our energy? We are always complaining about energy, but we are destroying our water bodies. Which could have been used for such purposes to boost our energy sector. We are complaining about hunger. We still import. How can Burkina Faso send a message that they will not supply us with food anymore? How can Burkina Faso? Oh my God, Ghana is, to me, 68 years is something. Because if we have this fertile land and we can't feed ourselves. Now move from Kumasi to Accra. You see this vast land. Move from Kumasi to Tamale or the northern part. You see this. What are you using these things for? Or is it because you don't have leaders with transformational ideas or innovative ideas? So these are the things that we need to look at rather than speeches.
Yes. Wow. Well, we thank you so much, sir, this morning for making time.
You're warmly welcome.
We know how much busy you are with your schedules, but you still made time for us. We are very grateful.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Enjoy a happy independence as well.
All right. Same to you. Bye.
Bye.
Which represents the 68th independence anniversary of Ghana. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, the band have formed the number 68 in static position. Shall we please give them a round of applause?
Hello, hello, hello.
Distinguished guests, shall we please give them a round of applause?
Sitting by the telly. I hope you are aware. Okay.
Distinguished guests, the band just performed the tune, Junior Mayuhu. That was a splendid performance by the band. Shall we please give them a round of applause?
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we shall now receive some poetry recitals, and that will be done by learners from Services Primary and JHS Bema Camp. The recitals are Na Ayoko Nyomoha, Mame Abba Jechua Amufa Apia, and Fedaus Baba Alele Jebuni. The title of the poem is Nation Building and National Development, written by Edward Ni Alote.
John, Dramani, Mahama, Kemanye like Fonkume, Mia Fonine Ache Ame, Sheme, Kenyame, Nime, Kename, Kemenina Ebakeshi, Wami Banya Omane, Ghana Tete, Ketete, Nyaha Swego Ehiamanle. Mambi Wuchi, Kemambi Bibi, Manoya, Mankuramo, Kemancha Ehia, Keja Ishona Madin Amli, Keteko Igbefen, Noya mi fo, Mankuramo mi bola, ni mancha, mi bisane, Negbe Yeli Kabwamo Aje Abba. Yeli ke boamo ajenungo ke amra lodin manoya mankuromo ke mancha bayano Ghana wajakuma bango tamowo Ghana be mi bola papa ife mi kemo amanem penny ya ton safra hon Hena manum penny fadadao. Heno man penny na otewadu. Okuku dem. Srem jata in the banana. Ahofe John, Dramani, Mahama, Nina bete shi papebi. Okuku jufoba. Oba Sampa, Mami, J, Nana, Opoku, Ajiman. Embra Shebegwa Funente Mbwafo, Embira Bade, Awade, what Shina PC, the woven Zinukwa, Wakwini Namwa, Abama Omangana, Afane Tampa, Efra. Daminti, Wamayeni Nara za ofata na ose. Ghana ebite gakusubrege, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Gani Ebeshun ne kabini kole, Alo enambar kabini fuli, Kayurushine entregepa. Ghana benyi kumula lane kabini fuli en soka plekama. Ghana bindu inteni nene ni esikama eji inkini. Waje komenfa nyoni hemo jukefo aje wasase kra Ghana bahi bango bajabo kemi. Mano atu egbena, bo atu egbena, no ba shedu nila ba pe han, mlano yeli hie miamo kenuchumo akechama. Asante beya from exibanu bubu meni java hentuku aho atupiti aho ne hen atinabia. Dambe basani nara ya de titira inipa daseni biahia akwan bitede lorry keteke wimu na podo afe wonyamoni wonfo wonche ehiawo won hawo mahe akonsabu afe pan
Wakba nibiha, wakbelenu chumoy, wabi ana eko achu, nimishe baba, Ghana ana hechole, Ghana ana noya, Ghana bako emama kpakpa nebu, nyacha mi omane ablawo, yao, nyayiwala don,
Yaga wanase, asan kusunga.
A round of applause for these learners. And the trainers for the poetic trio are Miss Felicity Efuachewa Bonya and Miss Ruby Dede Ama. Tema Senior High School will give us one patriotic song titled Ayehu, composed by Yao Ousu Esiama. The choir conductor is Mr. Philip Gabla, and the directors are Mrs. Rose Eva Abrabasam and Mrs. Gladys Jael Apielete. Mr. Charles Opon Mensa is the organist. Tema Senior High School is located at Community 5 and was established on the 22nd of September 1961. Mrs. Marina is the headmistress of the school. And once again, the title of the patriotic song is Ayehu, composed by Yao Ousu Esiama. A round of applause for these learners. That was a masterclass performance with vocal precision and control. A round of applause for them as they march off the stage. Distinguished guests, shall we show them some love by giving them a round of applause? That was a great performance. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the traditional dance will be performed by learners of Akwebu Basic, Dansuman 2, 3, and 6 basic schools, Ebenezer AME Zion School. 2 dances will be performed. The Kundum dance from the central region and Bawa from the northern region. Kundum is performed by people of Ahanta, and it originated in a situation of famine around 1700. Harvest music and dance. Kundum is performed at all social occasions now. The second dance will also be Bawa. Bawa dance originated with the Dagaba people of the Upper West region of Ghana. It is a ceremonial dance that celebrates the start and end of rainy season.
Yeah!
Shall we give them a round of applause? That was a fantastic performance by these learners. Indeed, the performance was a testament to the power of cultural heritage, showcasing the beauty, diversity, and resilience of our Ghanaian culture. May I hand over to my co-MC, Squadron Leader Lawson. Thank you.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the parade will now advance in review order.
The parade will advance in review order. By the center. Quick, march.
Shall we please rise for the national salute?
Rise! National salute.
Please be seated. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the parade commander will now ask permission to stand the parade at ease for the anniversary speech by the President of the Republic and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces.
Your Excellency, may I have your permission to stand the parade at ease for the delivery of your anniversary address. Your Excellency.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we shall now have a drum appellation, and this is done to usher very important personalities to rise and address their people. The master drama is Emmanuel Vazinu, and the reciters are Perpetual Lanyon, Dorinda Ankra, Christiana Kome, and Fedaus Alilaba Ibrahim.
Development, Governing and Researching. Abo. Abo Ghana to take it. Abo Mang Odehe Kelume. Woman here yellow. John Brahmani Mahama. Kaman Bife. Mang Kuramo Papa. Kaman Noyaba. Magrami. Kemano yemi pasa. Enge kan David ka Goliath aka. Ni magaya yemi aka yoku nim. Ebe gbajo kla. Senyu muno dika pemi. Ya hemi miami. Hemi wami. Ya ka pemi loko imahi.
Mahama. Dramani. 24-hour. Jemanafo. Nefama laga fo basa. Ne full cake kiakuto. Your Excellency, Koso. Boy. Bonanso. Mbatuge. Bon au finish pour bore. Malaga. Go back, go aso onupo. Umbo. Abotwe. Nyecha. Omanye yava.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, the great son of Gonja land, people of Ghana salute you. Welcome back to the big throne of Ghana. Your Excellency, you will be called Ababil by the Akans, just because you left and have been brought back by the good people of Ghana as a result of your good deeds. We wish you a comfortable stay. Mr. President, the people of Ghana and the entire world can clearly see that you have not come to sleep, nor have you, as some people thought, before your coming. Your priorities, actions, and activities within the 60-day stay in the presidency tell that you have come to redeem Ghana. You have come to rebuild a new Ghana, where all Ghanaians will feel comfortable. You have come to unite Ghana, where everybody, you share your cake equally for everybody to get his portion, no matter how small it is. You are the father that gives honey when vinegar is requested. Your Excellency, John Dramani Mahama, Ghana looks up to you as the savior. When things got scary and all were running back, when the path became bleak, you stood as hard as iron, chest out, and pushed forward fearlessly as a grandson of Gonja King Jakpa. You fear nothing but only God. Ghana is in your hands. The grandson of King Jakpa, Mr. John Dramani Mahama, respectfully rise. The good people of Ghana are ready, waiting to hear your sweet voice. Thank you.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, may I at this juncture respectfully invite the President of the Republic of Ghana and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, to deliver the 68th Independence Anniversary Address.
Thank you. Kindly be seated. Thank you. Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman, the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, Your Ladyship, the Chief Justice, Your Excellency, Chairman of the Council of States and members of the Council of States, Your Excellency, President John Adjekum Kufuor, former President of the Republic of Ghana, Your Excellency President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, former President of the Republic of Ghana, and our special guest, Your Excellency President Jakaya Kikwete, former President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Ministers of State, Honorable Members of Parliament, Nime, Name, our traditional rulers, religious leaders, our service chiefs, our troops, school children, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, friends of the media, and good people of Ghana. I wish you all a happy independence anniversary. 10 years ago, during the 58th independence anniversary, we implemented reforms to the annual Independence Day parade. This reform eased the burden of thousands of school children who march, sparing them from hours of standing in the scorching sun. They formed up on the parade ground only when it was time for their march past and presidential acknowledgement. A few years ago, the previous administration also implemented reforms, deciding to rotate the hosting of Independence Day celebrations among the regions of our country. This initiative was intended to bring the celebration closer to all our people. Unfortunately, this year we are constrained not only to interrupt the celebrations rotation amongst the regions, but also to hold it on a scaled-down version here at the forecourt of the presidency instead of the traditional Black Star Square. This is necessary considering the economic crisis our nation is currently experiencing. Large-scale celebrations often come with significant logistical, security, and infrastructure costs, which strain the national budget. By reducing the scale of the event, we wish to demonstrate a commitment to fiscal responsibility and the efficient use of our limited resources. Fiscal prudence has become imperative for navigating the severe economic crisis that has recently confronted our country. The state spent 15 million Ghana cedis on last year's celebration in Koforidua and spent 13.7 million cedis on the previous year's celebration in Ho in the Volta region. This year, we received estimates of at least 20 million Ghana cedis for holding the event at the Independence Square on the same scale as the previous years. In a year when we are calling on all to sacrifice, including workers who have graciously accepted a base pay adjustment far below the rate of inflation, it is unconscionable to spend that kind of money on a few hours of celebration. Today's event would save us 95% of the estimated cost of the event. Nonetheless, this scaled-down celebration does not diminish the importance and significance of this occasion in any way. Ghana's independence is the single most important event of nationhood. It is even more significant because it lit the flame of independence in sub-Saharan Africa by inspiring other countries yoked to colonial exploitation to seek independence and self-determination. This day must therefore always be commemorated, but when reality calls for a different approach, we must heed it and act accordingly. Moreover, hosting the celebration here at the presidency preserves the symbolic essence of Independence Day while demystifying the seat of government. Fellow compatriots, Independence Day celebrations serve as an opportunity for us to remember our nation's struggle for freedom and to honor the sacrifices of our forebears who led that struggle for self-rule. It reinforces our national identity, our unity and patriotism, while offering a moment for reflection on our progress and the challenges ahead. It presents an opportunity for us to recount our history, picking the lessons it teaches, and thereby forging a new path for progress and development. Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the founder of our nation, envisioned an industrialized, self-reliant Ghana, whose citizens have the highest standard of economic life and a greater sense of self-esteem rooted in patriotism and Pan-African unity. But on February 24, 1966, a joint military and police coup d'etat shattered that dream, plunging Ghana into decades of instability and military takeovers. The verdict of history is now loud and clear. Declassified documents from the United States archives reveal that this was a coup inspired and engineered. This remains the most regrettable and darkest moment in our nation's history. That moment sparked a series of historical events that have set us back and significantly delayed our attainment of the objectives of nationhood. We have had moments of triumph and moments of anguish. We have now blossomed into a fully fledged democracy with a healthy culture of peaceful power transfers. We must, however, remind ourselves in rights and fulfilling the promises of socio-economic prosperity enshrined in our founding document. Our history is complex, marked by struggle, resilience, and renewal. But through it all, one truth stands firm. The unbreakable will of the Ghanaian people has ensured that no matter the twists and turns, our democratic spirit endures and our destiny remains in our own hands. While we reflect on our journey, we must also review our standing today. We must assess our economic outlook, education and human resource development, natural resource management, national security, and our governance arrangements. It is essential for us to conduct a thorough review of our healthcare system, agriculture and food security, infrastructure and urban development, and the role of science, technology, and innovation. In this era of green transition, we must recognize our unique circumstance, that is a nation rich in natural resources, yet vulnerable to climate change, and we must chart a path that balances sustainability with economic growth. 18 years ago, as we marked the Golden Jubilee, 50 years of independence, we celebrated offshore gas and oil and gas discovery. It was a moment of great optimism, promising a new era of economic transformation and attracting significant investments into Ghana's petroleum sector. However, in recent years, poor choices have stunted our prospects and left us reeling from serious challenges. This stark reality, far from dampening our spirits, must spur us on to strive for rapid development. For if our forebears, armed with far less, did not permit their backs to be broken by a repressive and exploitative colonial administration representing an imperial power, how can we, their progenies, armed with far more, despair in the face of these challenges? Rather than perpetually decrying our failures, every anniversary of our independence must present an opportunity for us to account for the legacy we are building for our next generation. We of this generation are merely custodians of this country and resources. They are entrusted to us to manage them wisely today for the generation of tomorrow. These independence anniversaries must therefore be a moment of reflection, not on what we have done for ourselves, but on how well we have stewarded national assets for those we will hand them over to in the future. Our story cannot be one of missed opportunities. It must be one of continued effort to achieve far more than we can boast of now. Posterity will not accept our failures or take them kindly. As President, I am committed to providing the bold leadership and the clarity of vision that is needed to navigate the turbulent economic waters we are sailing in currently, while safeguarding our future. Discussions about our independence often highlight our reliance on imports, on donor aid, and IMF bailouts as signs of continued dependence. This reminder is repeated so often that while undeniably real, it risks becoming a cliché. Yet the entire efficacy of this reminder lies not in just repeating it, but in our willingness to take decisive action. Actions that will break the chain of dependency, not just the empty rhetoric of an Africa that is beyond aid. Proclaiming self-reliance while marching straight back to the donors, into the hands of the donor agencies, begging bowl in hand, is really meaningless. To break this cycle of dependence and reset our economy, my administration is formulating policies based on fiscal discipline and living within our means. We're striving to expand our economy to yield prosperity for all. And to do this, we must look within and make sure that we are raising revenue domestically. This administration is working to implement the 24-hour economy program to ensure that our economy never goes to sleep. This will allow us to create the necessary job expansion, boost productivity, increase our exports capacity and trade footprint, and also reduce our dependence on foreign aid. The US $10 billion Big Push initiative will also modernize our infrastructure. It will create jobs. It will stimulate local industry, ensuring that our development is driven from within rather than funded from outside. Agriculture remains our biggest opportunity to reduce import dependence. With over $2 billion spent annually on food imports, the Agriculture for Economic Transformation agenda is structured to strengthen local agribusiness and ensure food security. The Feed Ghana program will drive mass food production and stabilize food prices. At the same time, the Poultry Farm to Table initiative, otherwise referred to as Nkukong Kitinkiti program, will boost domestic poultry production and processing to directly address our 95% reliance on imported poultry products. The success of these policies depend on active citizen participation, particularly from our young people. The AgriNext program will equip 30,000 young people with land, training, and agribusiness opportunities. Farmer service centers in every district will provide access to mechanization services, quality seeds and fertilizer to boost local food production.